Good
Good
morning.
morning. Hello, Matt.
Good morning, Chloe. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm great.
You're great.
I'm great. Yeah, I got a
Uh,
good night's sleep. Uh, I
Full eight
curled.
hours.
I curled my hair. Oh no,
Just a good night's sleep.
8 hours? Are you kidding me? No, of course not. But it was very solid sleep. I
Mm.
feel rested.
Yeah, I was up a little too late last night. We decided, David Thomas, Ryan Daly, and I decided to play a little GTA 5, GTA Online,
Ooh.
after Quarantine Action Wrestling last night. So
Oh
we
wow.
streamed until a little after midnight. And I was like, okay, I should have been in bed about an hour ago.
Man,
But that's all right.
it's all right.
It's my day off today.
It's your day off. This is your
So
weekend.
this is my weekend, which is sometimes busier than my week.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I've got like three shows this weekend.
3 shows.
Well, I've got a little show tonight, a little improv show tonight, and then
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm driving to west into not Western Mass, I guess, but to Paxton, Mass. It's west of here, so that is what I consider to be Western Mass.
What's west of Westeros?
Right? Doing a little murder mystery show, which I'm pretty excited about, and
Yes,
then
yes.
got another big show on Monday. So I guess it's not really um, like I guess Monday is going. I'm going to consider Monday to be part of my weekend.
That's fine. I'll let it
It's
slide.
fine.
It's
You'll let
fine.
it slide. Thank you.
I'll let it slide this time.
I appreciate you for that. Oh my goodness, Chloe.
Yeah.
I've always said that you're kind of the world's best director.
What gave you that idea?
Your mug told me. What happened to the butts mug? Where's your butts mug?
Oh, it's in the dishwasher.
You got to wash that.
Yeah.
You got to make sure
wash those butts.
you got to wash those butts. You got to make sure those butts are nice and clean.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning.
Good
My
morning.
sister's joining us this morning.
Hi.
Hello, hello. All the way from the great state of Illinois.
Illinois. Illinois. Don't.
It's not plural.
Don't
There's
pronounce
only
the
one.
S.
There's only one state. There's only one
Yeah.
state of Illinois.
Should we just go through all the states and explain how to pronounce them?
No, I'm. That's a separate show. That's a show called The Worst.
That's our states show.
It's
States.
Yeah. Chloe and I are working on a new stage show now that everything is starting to open up again. It's called States, and it's just her and I on stage explaining how to pronounce each state.
We just asked somebody in the audience, hey, read this. What do you think this says? And
You're
then we yell
wrong.
at them.
What are you, an idiot?
What an idiot. Just abusing our audience verbally for the whole show. I will say, though, people from Oregon use a very useful tool to remember how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Oregon, it's Oregon. Like, would you like me to kill you with a knife or a gun? Yeah, I know.
That's a very aggressive way to
fairly aggressive for people from Oregon.
Yeah, I thought Oregon was a fairly chill state.
I thought they were chill.
Maybe Oregon, Washington is supposed to be. They're supposed to be the chill part of the world there.
The dream of the 90s is live in Portland.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch a lot of Portlandia? Do you?
No. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I haven't watched all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
sames.
You know, I certainly reference Put a Bird on It quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's a very quotable show.
It's a very quotable show. How was your week? Anything exciting happened to you over the course of the last week?
Oh, I finished another cross stitch.
Nice.
I'm about almost halfway through another one.
Cross stitching machine.
Yeah, it's a problem. I have to like wear a brace on my hand.
Oh no, you're giving
I don't
yourself
injure
carpal
myself.
tunnel?
So the thing is, like with the hypermobility in my fingers, like it's really easy for me to like put my thumb in a weird position. It's cross stitching is dangerous. So I have to like use a brace. I actually just ordered. I should get it in the next couple days. But there's a thing called Arthritis Jewelry or Splint Jewelry, which is basically like, supportive jewelry for your fingers to keep them from like going into the wrong position.
But also to help you look.
To help you like look really
look
cool.
stylish.
Yeah. So you don't have to like, whenever you go out in public, you don't have to repeatedly explain to people when they're like, oh my gosh, what happened to your hand? Are you okay? And it's like, no, this is just my life.
Right.
But now people won't ask because it's just jewelry. They'll be like, where'd you get that cool jewelry? And I'll be like, Etsy. And then we won't have to say any more about it.
Right, that's what you got to say. What's the difference between cross-stitching and embroidery? I assume embroidery is just like doing like initials and things onto something else.
Embroidery is strictly for your initials on towels when you get married, and you have to you want to make sure that your spouse doesn't use your towel,
right,
or vice versa.
Because gross.
Ew. What do you mean wash a towel? The towel washes you.
The towel. I'm clean when I use it. I just get out of the shower. I'm clean. Why do I need to wash it?
Yeah. The real answer is that cross stitch is done on a grid. So there are. It's kind of like stiff fabric that already has like predetermined holes in it, and so you're making X's over those little boxes,
right,
of the grid, and so it's really like, kind of more of an 8-bit design, right? Just squares of color to make a whole picture.
Whereas embroidery is
just freehand, right? So it's like on it's just on any fabric, and you just kind of put the needle wherever.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. It's really, I know that if I like practice a bunch with cross stitch, when I switch over to embroidery, it will not be as scary as I think it's gonna be. But I'm like, I like having a grid. I like having a specific spot to put things. I like having a pattern that
I prefer color by numbers.
Yeah.
Like I like color by number stuff because then like it's all drawn out for I can just color it in.
I didn't realize that people are still impressed with you as an adult if you can color inside the lines.
Hey, I'll take what I can get. I'll take whatever whatever praise I can get at this. At 45, this is where I'm at.
Sweet praise.
Sweet. Give it just
a little bit. I colored inside the lines. I didn't make any
mistakes. Please, I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. Hello, Squeeze Box.
I believe that is our guest. That's my guess on the guest. Because of the Squeeze Box, but it could not be. I'm not 100%, and I'm getting confirmation. It is not. It is another Squeeze Box enthusiast in the chat. So that makes me very happy. Pointing out,
they're not Gus.
No. I also like how you. Now, what is the art that they are referring to? The Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yeah.
That's oh, I switched sides. That's my tarot deck.
Oh, okay. Your tarot deck. Oh, that's right.
And,
yes.
Oh, maybe it's. Oh no, it's over there. I can't grab it from here. So yeah. So this tarot deck is Yoshi Yoshitani.
Mm-hmm.
They're an incredible artist, and there's also a companion book. So this whole tarot deck is based on fairy tales.
Oh yes, that's right.
Right, and so fairy tales and myths and stuff. So, let me see if I can find one that I just know off the bat.
Chloe, looking through tarot cards. Chloe.
So this is the tarot card, the Hanged Man. It's based on Sleeping Beauty.
Oh,
right.
I'm gonna make that full screen there so we can see. Oh,
look at that! Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, it makes the Hanged Man a less scary card.
Yeah, it is a terrifying.
Concept.
Yeah.
But there's also a companion book that goes through all of these fairy tales, and it's
cool.
a full size. You get a full size print of this, and then the story that goes with it next to it, and it's like the coolest. It's so beautiful.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
It is, and they're apparently friends. Oh no, friends with Gus.
Right, friends with our guests.
I was gonna be like friends with Yoshi.
Wow! Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
So real quick before we get into our kind of our interview guest portion of the show, I feel like it's we've started going through and looking at some TikToks from the week that I've found. Yeah, it's TikTok time.
Matt has discovered TikTok,
and it's a problem. I don't make them yet. I'm still kind of working my way up to that. But I do love to watch them. And one of my favorites here that I have come across is one called Puppy Songs, which we played a couple of, and they have a new one out. And this is the show that I would watch. Okay, they just play automatically when you play them, so it's very. But this is I'm just going to show this. This is going for it. Fantastic.
So I can't hear the song.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
Can you not hear that?
I can't, but...
Oh, no. But it's hiccup and squish.
I'm still happy with the footage.
Right. This is the part of the show where we beg Mike Carr to come back. And
Mike. He would know how to fix this.
Okay, this will work. Okay, let's go back here. Here we go.
Come faster than an aeroplane.
There we go.
Hiccup and squish. Hiccup and squish. So hurry up. It's time to go exploring again with Hiccup and Squish. Hiccup and Squish. They're two adventure puppies in Toronto, Canada. They're ready to go. They've got a plan at the lake with their mom on a train in the car. They're traveling near and far. Hiccup and Squish.
So that's Hiccup and Squish.
Hiccup and Squish?
Hiccup and Squish.
Oh my gosh, I would watch that show. That dog was using an iPhone.
And happy Friday, Sparky Boy Max. Thanks for popping in.
Thanks for joining us.
And then let's see. Oh, I feel like let's see. Oh, this was my new. This one really kind of got me, and I really like this. We're gonna watch. This is a. Let's see. Do we want? Okay, I've got a couple here, but I like this one. Hold on. there is a TikTok called what is it? Well, that's not the one. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. Here we go. This is so adorable. This is a little kid cooking a breakfast quesadilla.
Cook a breakfast quesadilla with me.
He's got a little kitchen all set up.
Oh, lost it now.
So we do a show on this channel called Cook It Right with Jamie Lynn, and she teaches our friend Colin how to cook.
My egg is full. Let's try that again.
This kid is amazing.
Got the adorable. I thought this I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like,
oh, you wait. How's your day, Mom?
My day's good, buddy.
I know how to be a Barrymore. That's a tricky part. Gotta make sure you have some cheese while you wait. It's not.
Yeah.
Mom, it didn't work.
It's okay.
it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're not scissoring anymore. Oh no! Can we cook a breakfast?
Isn't that amazing?
I just want to take this moment to remember a few minutes ago when I was talking about coloring inside the lines and being impressed with that.
And then you watch this tiny child just straight up make a breakfast quesadilla that looked really tasty.
Look really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not very much spillage, you know?
No, there was very little mess, and like, yeah,
that
the kid was on top of it.
He's starting his 10,000 hours early, you know?
Right?
He's gonna be a cooking genius if he keeps up with it.
Oh.
Wow.
And then let's see. Let's do one more here. Here we go. This is probably the cutest thing you'll see all day. Yep. That's a little dog on an even little, or a little pig with a little even littler dog on his back.
Oh, that dog is
I mean,
so
come
small.
on.
That dog is that dog could fit in my hand.
Right? So good. So good. So this is, I mean, that's pretty much what I do all day is just sit and watch things like that. Let's see. So, okay. So our guest is having a little bit of a technical issue. So we'll be bringing him on shortly. So since we have a little bit extra time.
Got a little bit of time.
One thing I love about TikTok is how celebrities use it and they can interact with people, and watching people interact with that is great. And there is a TikTok that I absolutely love called Old Gays. And it's a group of older men, and they recently had an interaction with one of their favorite celebrities. So we're gonna watch this.
Ooh, Drew Barrymore.
Really?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I just saw you this morning, girl.
We love you so much. Please take us on your show.
Yeah, I really like your show, Drew Barrymore.
You want to go on it?
Oh, I'd love to go on your show.
Right up there on stage with you, girl. We're lining it up for you.
Still that same little girl. That's what's amazing about you.
Yeah.
Have you gotten home? Have you phoned home yet?
But she's
They're
a grown
wonderful.
woman now.
She has done it right. She doesn't grow up. and that's what keeps you young.
She
Yes.
hasn't changed.
No.
She's matured nicely. She hasn't changed.
But like the look
How
on
can
Drew
she be
Barrymore's
still the
face
young
while this
person
is
she
happening
was and
is
now
so
mature?
amazing.
The same way I am. Hello.
No,
She's gonna cry.
you can't be young and mature.
I think you could be
Unless you got
You'll never
They're just fantastic.
Oh my gosh! I hope they go on the show.
I know, right? I followed them just to make sure that if there's any more Drew Barrymore content.
This is the
But-
deepest wish that I never knew that I had.
right.
I don't even watch her show, but I really want them to be on her show.
Mhm. Well, let's go ahead and bring out our guest. He's waiting patiently in the back, and it looks like our browser issues have been resolved. We'll check it out here.
Excellent.
Please welcome to the show, Gus Voorhees. Gus, hello. Oh,
Right.
there we
hear.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Because one of the issue is that this microphone isn't doing anything. So
Just had the microphone in there for show.
I was
We
like,
don't need it.
you know, I have all this like I'm a musician and I feel like I need to come in with good sound, and now I'm just going off of the laptop microphone, which is fine. Everything's okay.
You know what?
You know, it
Everything's
sounds pretty good.
okay. It's
Okay.
Friday morning. It's early. We'll, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants here anyway, Gus. So it's
We're
a-okay.
here to have a good time.
I found my favorite TikTok I've ever seen yesterday. I'm extremely proud of it.
Do
It
tell.
is this woman. She faced the camera and goes, "Guys, I found 4 frogs," and it cuts to her, and she stacks 4 frogs on top of each other.
You can do that?
Well, this is the thing. This is the best thing in the world, is that she's just shining a light at them and they're not doing anything. And all the comments are like, "What did you do to these frogs? Like, what did you give these frogs?" And there's a comment.
What kind
There's
of
a comment
drugs?
that has. There's a comment that says, "If you shine a light on frogs, they just seize up. They don't do anything. You can do anything you like to them," is what they said.
Animal facts.
Animal facts.
Not an animal fact that I thought I would want to know, but
Yes.
it could come in handy. I think I could like entertain a kid really well with that fact.
Absolutely.
Like that's a fact. That's something that you could show to a kid and they would immediately think you're like a wizard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, I feel like a wizard knowing it.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that's how wizards came to be. There were just like these groups of people that knew how to
Shining
do
light on
like
frogs.
weird things like that, and they're like magic.
Yeah, they're like, well, yeah, 100%. They're like, if you eat these mushrooms, guess what happens?
It's a potion.
It's a
Oh,
potion.
Have fun.
Yeah. See you in about 8 hours. So Gus, where are you calling us from this morning?
I'm in the Boston area.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Your neighbor. Yeah.
Local.
Yeah.
I always ask that because Chloe and I like we tend to have a lot of people on here that are from the Midwest. So we do like to have like conversations about that. That it's not a priority for it to have.
I went to school in Wisconsin, so I know about Culver's.
Good.
I know about Menards. You know,
and those are the only
I'm
two
aware.
things you need to know about the Midwest is Culver's.
I mean, it's a lot of it.
Yeah.
What
Where did you
what
go to
else?
school?
I went to Beloit, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Beloit College in Beloit, Wisconsin. It
makes sense.
Right. Sometimes I go to Beloit and people go like, where is that? I'm like, you don't know. You don't have to know. You're already lost.
You're not gonna find it.
They have to airdrop
knowledge
you
is
in.
lost to time.
I'm not. You're not gonna have
It's
heard of
wizard
it if you don't
school,
know
it's
where
hidden.
it is. Yeah.
It's a hidden wizard school.
Beloit only shows up once every 100 years.
I mean,
if you're not there, you missed your shot.
I ran into someone in Boston about 2 weeks ago who was like, "Oh, where'd you go to school?" And I was like, "I went to Beloit." And they went, "Oh, I went to Beloit." It's literally the only time it's ever happened because either you know everyone, right? or you know who knows people. It's a tiny school, but then in like New England and the Midwest are these sort of places where people kind of grow up never wanting to leave. I think first, like half the people. Like some people want to get out as soon as possible about things, and some people are like maybe I'll go somewhere else for college and I'll go back.
Yeah, there's a much higher percentage of like people that still live in my hometown than like, or at least in the same. They live in the same state. Like there are not a lot of people that like grow up in the Midwest and then like leave the Midwest.
Yeah.
I got kicked out for being too assertive. I had to leave because I was, I would say things like, "Hey, it's cold in here. Can we change the temperature?" And that was impolite.
That's a lot. I mean, that's really big. Yeah. That's crazy.
How dare you? How dare you? So Gus, tell us a little bit about what you do. You're a musician. Tell us about that. Like, tell us about the music you play.
I play. So I'm still working on this pitch. I'm always working on this pitch. This is a lot of my Twitter presence is expressing my anger at not really having a concise pitch. I play folk dance music is the kind of quick thing about it. But I specifically play this sort of like pan-European, maybe slightly folk music. A lot of these sort of like there's a lot of like interconnected musics in this sort of like North Atlantic area in general. So like England is the place that I sort of like, or the kind of music I grew up playing, and then that gets into the Scandinavian countries, it gets into France, that gets into Canadian music, like Quebecois music and Newfoundland music, and a little bit, and even down to like New England, and sometimes over to Native American fiddling and Midwestern musics as well.
Wow, that's really cool how it kind of goes.
Yeah, it's really neat, and I think that if you really pushed it, there are like aspects of this that kind of applied everywhere in the world, because the way that people dance isn't really like that different across like huge places. People have these like huge, like big ideas within not like big ideas, but like they're like very specific ways that people do things, and they get very weird. So once you learn how it's weird in France and how it's weird in Scandinavia and how it's become bizarre in North America, then you kind of have the tools to go to look at something like cumbia is like probably the biggest like pop music genre that comes out of like a folk dance right now.
Cumbia
is like the Colombian music that Shakira does.
Oh.
Do you know this? Do you know what? No. This is a really weird. This is a bizarre thing about Shakira specifically, which is not the most like relevant person, maybe pop culture.
I've heard that her hips are notoriously honest.
Very honest hips. She talks a lot about the different parts of her body and how much she trusts them.
It's important to trust the parts of your own body.
Yeah.
The beat in that song is a cumbia beat, and cumbia is like it's a music that it's an integration of like native Colombian people and the European influence that Colombia has. So you can look at like traditional cumbia bands, and they're like 2 drums and an accordion and that kind of stuff. It's a really interesting, pretty pleasant little like hole to go down to look at these like older. And that way, like, do you know how like ska has like different generations or whatever? We're on like the 3rd generation of like cumbia, I think. And in the same way with like ska, where the first generation of ska is basically like stripped down calypso. Like it's a lot of like, it's like one guy and a guitar sometimes. Then like that's where like cumbia started, and now it's at Shakira. But that's not what I wanted here to talk about. Just a very interesting thing that like I always think about is like maybe one day I'll actually get it. You have to find someone to teach you this stuff or whatever, but like, ooh, that would be really neat to like be able to have that kind of like more worldly perspective and stuff.
Are there cumbia YouTube tutorials maybe? Like I don't know. Is that something? Or maybe that's a niche that you could fill once you.
I become an expert, start a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I think someone from Colombia should start the YouTube. I don't think that should be me.
No,
that's probably fair. Yeah,
that's a healthy perspective on that. You mentioned Newfoundland, and I recently. So they put. Have you? This is the second time I brought this musical up in like 2 weeks.
Come From Away.
3 weeks. Come From Away. Yeah,
it's great. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I was thinking like the Ugly Stick, the scene where they bring out the Ugly Stick, and it's like a boot with like so they can like so it makes like a stomping sound, and it's got all this. I was like, this is such a cool like instrument.
It's such a like. You don't even know, that music that's like the tip of like what's up with Newfoundland, which I don't even like fully understand. I have a couple of friends who either sing songs from there or like play music from there. They have their own like. I mean, it is like an island. I mean, it's like the whole Come From Away thing of like, it's a weird sort of far off place where they have developed their own culture. They were not a part of Canada until like 1960 or something.
Wow.
They have their own time zone. They're a half hour off from everyone. It's bizarre.
Which I love. I love that.
Like, why?
That's great.
I mean, maybe I was
because
like, I'm like, yeah, it's like either because, or maybe like, maybe we should be dividing time zones into like half hour things, you know, but it's very odd. They have a whole kind of thing. One of the things that I get really excited about are like native, like not native, but like traditional like plays and traditional like sort of pageants and that kind of, because I love it when people dress up for stuff. I love this sort of like, like when people are like, I like 100 years ago had nothing but really wanted to like have a party, and we're like, okay, I have a bunch of colorful clothes and I can make ribbons.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. They have this thing called, I think they call, I always forget if they actually call it mummers. It gets like mummers is this like larger category of English language, mostly English language, traditional plays. And they have a kind of thing that they do with that where they wear bags over their heads and they wear their shoes backwards. And they go from like a house to house on like Christmas Eve, I think, maybe, or New Year's Eve. And they come in and they sing a song and they hang out in your kitchen and drink all of your booze until you guess who each person is.
Oh,
that is like, whoever came up with that is like,
whoever came up with that is like a frat bro, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's really what it is. But
like,
but there's,
dude, what if
we did this? You think we get away with it?
Do you think that people would give us their alcohol?
Yeah, no, but here's the deal about folk music, about folk dance stuff, is that you have either people want to dance and they want to hang out, or they're scamming people out of booze, and there's almost nothing in between. It's such a fun. It's like, it's so like I've been doing this for a long time now, and I keep waiting to go like, oh, maybe I'll definitely see some real like hard evidence of, oh, this is like a Midsummer thing, this is like a Wicker Man thing, or like this is like religious, or like a larger. All of it every single time is like, okay, so we're gonna go to their door, we're gonna yell at them until they give us food and beer, and then we're gonna go to someone else's door, or whatever.
And we're offering them the gift of music.
And we're offering them a good time, but then it's under the facade of like tradition or whatever. It's like, hey, look, it's September 17th. You know what day that is? That's the day we ask you for beer.
This is the day that we do that.
and then in 2 weeks, it'll be another day where we do this.
Right.
Yeah. All the different saints' feasts are just
it really is like
stamps.
it really is. And then the church is like, actually, there are guys. Like, we know these are important days to you, but we're the church. Stop getting drunk. And they're like, sure. Some of us will do that. The other of us are going to get incredibly drunk.
Yeah, we're just going to get drunker.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell us what to do.
And now we're going to say it's because of you guys. Now we're going to say it's because of a saint's name. So thank you.
It's Christian to be charitable and give us your booze.
We want one thing.
Yeah. So that's the thing with carolers too. I mean, carolers
is
are the
thing with
same.
carolers.
Are the same. We're going to stand outside your house and sing until you get. We won't go until we get some.
That's
in the song.
That's why people don't care about caroling anymore. It's because there's an integral part missing. We forgot about why we started caroling in the first place.
This is my gospel. 100%. I like people. I think part of it is that people are like, here's a really bad version of this carol. Here's a really boring version of this carol, and then you play it over like the loudspeaker all the time. But also like it ought to be just like a party. It's a bar crawl is what it is. That's all.
Yeah.
And all of these onesie bar crawls, these like theme bar crawls or whatever, are lazy in my mind, unartistic extensions of centuries old traditions.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because like so there are two ways of thinking about people in the past, like history, whatever. One of them is like,
whatever.
Oh, old, like all these ancient traditions. It's like wisdom and religion and magic. And the other one is like, people didn't know any better, so they had superstitions. Yeah. And it's not either of those things. People have always been people.
Yeah.
And we all want the same. We've always wanted the same things.
Yes. And and it's a good time. And it's people. The thing that like those two things leave out all the time is like that people are creative. There's like been creative weirdos in every community. There's always been someone who like we all know someone who you're like, oh, why? Like you're up at 2 a.m. doing a weird thing or like jumping over something. Like, why am I doing it? Oh, because like that guy is charming, Right. And that's like those people have always existed. Sometimes they're cult leaders. Sometimes they become political icons. Sometimes they become like religious figures. Yeah. But like, I think 9 out of 10 times they're like, what if we like put a bag over our head, wear our shoes backwards, and people guess who they are, then we can stop drinking.
Like that's a great idea.
They could probably guess who we are if our feet are not clearly our regular feet.
It just seems like a mess for the person wearing the shoe more than anything else.
Yeah, like that just seems uncomfortable. Like, have you ever tried to like walk around with your shoes on different feet?
How do they keep
I know because I'm not from Newfoundland, so I don't feel like I can appropriate that tradition.
No, that makes sense.
Again, healthy attitude.
Healthy attitude. Well, Gus, would you like to maybe play a little something? Do you have anything?
I'd love to. I will.
This is what honestly, when I saw that you played the is that traditionally called a squeeze box, or is it is there a different name for it? Concertina.
A concertina is smaller, and the buttons go like kind of point in.
Okay.
This is I always call it just a buttoned accordion, and some people call it melodeon, but that has like different meanings in different parts of the world. So this is always like it's always a little bit easier. I will play. What I'll do is I'm going to play you a tune, which is it's probably my favorite tune. I say probably. I know it's my favorite tune. Called Step Back, which is a traditional tune from England. It's a part of the Morris dancing repertoire, which in Boston people know, and outside Boston people don't know what it is. But Morris dancing is a performance opposed to a social dance from the sort of center bit of England, where people dress in white and they do these dances outside, and then they go to bars and they ask for money. Or they ask for drinks. I just gave you a great dance.
We didn't ask for that.
There's been more teams in almost basically every major city in North America for almost 100 years now.
Wow.
And I've been very lucky to sort of grown up in that community. It's a really wonderful community. And they play this tune all the time, or I play this tune all the time at the Marlborough Morris Ale in Vermont, in Albert, Vermont, as well as around the Northeast as a dance that everyone does. Because of that, as a kid, I thought this was the worst tune in the world, and then I reevaluated it recently.
Okay.
So here it is.
All right. Fantastic. I love that. I love that. And I can see the people like doing like some sort of like old choreographed dance that everybody knows the moves to and moving around and all that stuff. That's awesome. I once did I went up to Scotland and was able to learn some Cayley dancing, which was super fun. Like,
it's really good.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's like Scottish line dancing, kind of, almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like every little bit of like most of the world has some kind of social dance, some kind of like like you get like with Scottish Cayley, you get to walk through the dance in contra dancing, which is sort of the larger like American one, people call it as you go, which is very nice of them. And then that's also what they do for English Cayley dancing, which is sort of a related thing, but it's all kind of this like fluid stuff.
So they call it as you go. So it's like square dancing.
Yeah.
That's
like you have to.
Yeah, like square dancing. Yeah. You know, what my experience with Scottish dancing is that, you have to know the dances. So like you'll like, if you're at like you'll have a moment maybe earlier in the day, if you're at like an event where they'll teach every dance that they're going to do. And then like hours later, you have to remember all that. Where like in square dancing and in contra dancing and in English Cayley, they teach you the dance, and then you do, as you're doing it, they remind you of what's going on. So it's not like you have to know what the moves are going in. It's like they've given you the names of the moves, and then they kind of say as they go.
Yeah, the Cayley dance we went to, they would walk us through it and then do like a practice version of it. And then
that's so nice of them.
And then they do it again. Well, I think they knew that it was a bunch of it was kind of like we all worked at a summer camp together, and this was like a summer camp reunion that we all got together at New Year and did Hogmanay up in Inverness, which was unbelievable.
That's
just
amazing.
such a cool place. So they knew that they had it, and we all went and got our dress kilts. We all went and rented our dress kits, and we were it was fantastic.
That's very serious.
Yeah.
I spent a summer in Inverness when I was 10, and I just remember being extremely Scottish.
Yeah, what a magical place to spend, like, especially when you're 10. Like,
yeah,
that has just monsters and fairies everywhere.
100%. Just entirely in your own imagination. You're like off on like the plains, and your parents are like, wait, where did he go, or whatever. It's just kind of like, it's like big. It's like weirdly big. It like seems like a tiny country, right? But like there's like huge open spaces everywhere. Especially up there.
Yeah. And I remember New Year's Eve, they did like fireworks, but it was super foggy. But they were still like putting fireworks up, and it was just the coolest thing to see like the fog just kind of light up over castles and everything. I was
That's
like,
amazing.
Oh, this is, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be there as a child. Like, that just seems like amazing to me.
It seems like a weird dream I had sometimes.
Right?
I had when I was in, what was it, 5th or 6th grade maybe, we did we had this exchange student in our school from France, and her younger sister, so she came to our high school, but her younger sister wanted to come over to the US, and I wanted to go to France, and so we did like a mini exchange where she spent 3 weeks with us, and then I went and spent 3 weeks with her.
Oh, cool.
And they had and I didn't know I didn't know anything going in. I'm actually a little bit thinking about it now. I'm like, no one told me what I was actually doing. But when I got over there, it turned out that I wasn't just going to their house. We were going to their summer home on Ile d'Arc, which is off the coast of Bretagne. And
oh, wow.
It was it was very strange. Because I was on this really cool island, and all the French neighborhood kids were like, "Oh, an American," and I had no idea what they were saying to me, but they were like, "We're gonna be friends now, and we're gonna play Yahtzee," and I was like, "Okay,"
because that's what Americans do. They play Yahtzee.
And they signed me up. My host parents signed me up for windsurfing lessons, and I was not a strong. I'm a personal trainer now. I've done a lot of strength training. I'm a very strong person now. But at the time, I was my body was all messed up. And they were like, okay, we got these windsurfing lessons. You have to bike there and bike back. And I was like, excuse me?
Oh my God.
I have to do what now?
And it felt like a fever dream. It was so strange. It was and I was it was really cool. But I was just sore every day, and windsurfing in France as a 12-year-old. I was like, what?
It seems like a lot.
It's
a lot of work.
It seems like a lot to do for, especially a 12-year-old. It seems like a lot to do for me now. For an adult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think the biggest part too was that in America with all of the helicopter parenting and stuff, and you don't go where we can't see you, and in France they were just like, here's your bike, take this path, it's about 20 minutes. What?
Don't talk to strangers, just and come back alive.
How will I know it's the right place?
I don't even speak the language.
Yeah.
Windsurfing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see windsurfing stuff, you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gus,
I made it, so obviously I figured.
I mean, you're here now, so
you're still here. How's your French? Still bad? Still iffy?
It's much better. I mean, I could understand a lot. I was like not as good at I was not as good at speaking. I'm like I have a good accent, and like if you put me around French people for a while, it'll like everything will come back, but like
Yeah.
at this current moment, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, French was one of the language classes I failed in college.
Oh no.
Yeah, French and German. I tried doing German my freshman year of college at 8 a.m. It was an 8 a.m. German class. I was like, no.
It's not good. Not worth it.
There's a lot
Did
of
you
back-
get through any language class at all?
I ended up taking it at a junior college level, which
Okay.
was just like basically, like high school. It was like just a step above high school level, which was good. And then the second, I had to have 2 classes of it. So I took like a 101, like a French 101 class, and the teacher was great. We had a good time. And I learned a little. I was able to write it a little bit and, understand words here and there. And then the second class, there was a much smaller group. So we all just started meeting at a cafe, and it was more of like talking about like the culture of France and, like how the language is set up and all that stuff. And we didn't do as much speaking stuff. So that's how I got through my language courses.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty chill class.
That's
it was
a fun way to do it.
awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. So Gus, are you playing around Boston? Do you have what with everything like opening up? Things are open, outdoor venues, indoor venues. Like what kind of stuff are you doing around town?
Yeah, we're starting to set up stuff again. It's like so much of the like folk community is it's like community focused. It's like a lot of like community activities to do stuff, and so that stuff is not opening up as quickly as like shows are, because if you want to get people to sing along to something, there's a lot more anxiety about like a room of people singing, or like or dance, or like dancing with people with like who are relative strangers is just another kind of like hurdle to pass over. But I think we're doing stuff. I'm about to like actually officially launch a duo with me and someone else in the area, and I think we'll be doing stuff in the fall. And my Morris dance teams in Boston specifically are practicing again, as well as they are as the ones other ones I'm associated I know about in North America are doing. So they'll be dancing on the street, hopefully, coming up, and a couple gigs of just playing good instrumental music.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Are there any like festivals or anything going on? Because I know that St. Richard's Fair is open. Like they got not St. Richard, King Richard.
Too much about
Sorry,
Saints.
we're talking about Saints, and I unfortunately have never been to a Ren Fair. I've always wanted to go to one.
What?
Never actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
100% your brand, man.
I know.
People love them. I don't know that much about Ren Fairs either. I don't really have a strong connection to Ren Fairs.
Yeah, it's just like, and this is limited experience. And like, I'm sure they're different, but a lot of it is just like big turkey legs. And
if you love a turkey leg,
which I do, I love it. I love a turkey leg, and I love, and it, like, like I see like music and stuff that is played there, and it seems like it's definitely around the same. Like,
yeah, it is. It's like it's oddly in a weird way. I think because they are doing there are more like early musicians connected to it, so it's more like actual Renaissance specific stuff, which is shocking for Ren Fair because it is kind of a hodgepodge of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think that tends to be more early music people or people who are doing like specifically like pirate focused music.
Yeah. Sea shanties and the like.
Yeah. A lot of what I play is like in a way that, again, very difficult pitch. It only exists now. It isn't really like it is like it is very deliberate reinterpretations of, but again, impossible pitch. It's a lot of like, so you know this, so do you know, you're aware of this. Okay, so it's more like It's a constant kind of like.
So this is where
wearing it
you're
down.
at, and this is what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
So
right,
and
right
it's hard to
there.
be. I feel like I've had a lot of like brunches with people who are like, "Oh, what do you do? I'm a musician," and you get into it, and they're just like totally turned off from me because I'm like, "Oh,
Their
you
eyes
don't
just,
get
like,
it."
glaze over.
No, but I know that the Club Passim in Harvard is doing their Celtic festival, Boston Celtic Music Festival this year. And I know there's other similar stuff. It's coming up. Stuff is happening, which is great.
Things are happening.
It seems
are
like it.
happening.
I'm very like until I feel like until I actually like play something until like off the stage, I won't feel like stuff is back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my very first improv performance last weekend, and
God.
it was no rehearsal.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah.
Jumping right in.
Just jumping right into it. You really feel the rust literally just kind of like chunk off of you while you're.
Yeah, and my teammates, and one of them has already been performing, but they were like, "You should host," and I was like, "Are you sure?" And it was the On Point Improv, and it was at Remnant Brewing, and like we got up to the little performance area. It's not a stage; it's just a corner.
Yeah, just a corner.
And I was like, "Hi guys, I haven't done this in 2 years. I apologize for everything that's about to happen. I forgot all the questions I normally ask."
Oh no.
And I'm apologizing.
But since everybody's having a good time, what are people hyped about? What gets you hyped? It was like
20 minutes later, Chloe's still getting the suggestion for the set. Like it's just Chloe just won't stop talking.
I was very it was very lucky because the crowd was like happy and supportive and like ready to like laugh and not think about things. And so
I think audiences are hungry. Like audiences at this point are
they
just
wanna,
hungry for stuff.
They want to laugh.
Yeah.
And
that's
so, true. And like, I don't know, I've got enough. Even though I'm saying like I apologize, I still have like the charisma, like I still have a confident vibe. So people are like, yeah, we're on board. So
we get it.
And
that's all you need.
That's all you need. And this this particular group, like I've never had a bad show with them. And it was a very positive experience, like first time. Like it really felt like no time had passed, but also 100 years had passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was very strange. But it's like it for a while there was that it was this feeling of like, oh yeah, I used to do improv.
Right.
Because I like just hadn't been on stage at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like,
I did my first show back like about a month ago now, and it was the same kind of thing where I like the second it started, I was like, ooh, this is how do I get
I used to know how to do this.
Yeah.
How am I? Because like a part of it is like always sort of getting over some sense of stage fright, I think, for everyone. And everyone has like little compensating methods, and I feel like that's the thing that's rustiest. I feel like I was kind of like, playing music, I don't have to engage with people in the same way as like improv, right? But like kind of like looking down in a way a lot of the time, just kind of pretending like people aren't there.
Yeah. Well, you have to kind of focus in on what you're doing because
it makes me look very intense. But I think at a certain point, I was a little more charismatic performer. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like,
and that'll come back.
I hope so. When I was doing improv, I would just look people dead in the eyes and like ignore everyone and just really kind of like and I would always get the note of like, you have to cheat out. You can't like turn your back to the audience.
Oh,
I give that note so many times. I give that note so much to people. I'm like, you realize the audience is out here. I know it's just me sitting here, but we're still the audience. So look like out to me.
Important part.
Yeah.
So the other layer to that show was that one of my I used to train full time in rowing. I was rowing at the elite level, trying to get onto the national team.
Brag.
It's not a big deal. And
Elite level.
Elite level, yeah. And it's one of those things of like, once you decide to retire from that, like you don't really see a lot of those people anymore. And it's not like because you don't like each other. It's just that like they're exhausted from training twice a day. Yeah. And like you want to go have fun now. And one of my former teammates was at the show.
Oh, nice.
Which was like really cool, but at the same time it was like, uh-oh, I hope it's a good show. Because she's gonna go back and tell everyone that I'm not doing well.
Like, you guys remember Chloe? She is not doing
weirdo.
Great. She was doing improv. She was like yelling in the middle of a brewery for no reason. Like, I don't think that she was there for any show. I think she was just asking people if they were hyped.
For like 20 minutes. It was crazy.
No, I think I would check in with her, but I have to get up at 4 a.m. to go rowing.
Talk to her, maybe send her a text.
Maybe send her. We can't. We're rowing. We can't. They don't allow phones in the boats.
No, you might drop them in the water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do not want to drop a phone in the Charles River.
You don't want to drop anything in the Charles River.
No, it's not. You can't get it back. And if you do, it's probably not safe to touch.
It's probably not. Yeah, it's probably not safe to touch at all. Yeah, I did my first like 75-minute huge audience, like not huge audience, but like 50 people in a theater, like lights on you on a stage doing a show. And yeah, it was awesome, but I kind of blacked out halfway through and I was like, came to, the show was over. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I forgot that like you have to like watch how much time has passed. Like,
yeah,
you like my other teammate was like keeping track of time. I completely forgot. I was like, let's just get on stage and see what happens and keep going until someone says stop.
Right. At my show before my last set, I was like, I asked the audience, has it been a half hour or 40 or like 50 minutes?
Like, it's been
like,
5.
People like it's been 50. It's felt like 2. Get on with it.
Yeah, because once you get into your zone, like time is a weird, you know. You look up and you're like, oh, 45 minutes have passed.
I have to like I try. I have to time everything to make sure. I'm like I have to like do a lot of math, and I'm usually wrong as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're artists. We're not mathematicians. Like,
exactly. We're not here to do math.
We're not here to do math. We're here to make beautiful things for people.
Here to make beautiful things. We're here to ask people for drinks. That's about
We're
it.
here to get free booze.
We're here to get free booze.
No one
like,
respects that anymore.
Not leaving.
Yeah, I will stay on this stage until someone brings me a beer.
We won't go until we get some.
We won't go until we get some. Absolutely. Well, Gus, I mean, if you've got another song you'd like to play, I think we've got time. I mean, you're our guest today.
We're not mathematicians. We don't know if we have enough time.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, I'll play you another thing.
All I know is I have to go to the grocery store today. That's really all I've got planned. So, I mean, if the show goes on for a while, the show goes on for a while.
Yeah, I'll play you another thing. I'll play you. Yeah, I'll play this. I'm gonna play you a tune from Sweden called the Ora Polska, which I like a lot. I mean, I was playing it at a folk dance camp in Plymouth in the beginning of July, and I played it, and a guy like appeared out of the corner of my eye. Like I didn't know he was there, and then he told me all about all of the information about it, which I immediately forgot.
And then he disappeared.
Yes. I think I summoned him. It was so weird. He said
if somebody shows up behind you, I'll give you a little wave if you're playing the song. And something.
It was crazy. He said that this tune is like, the thing that I do remember him saying is he says this tune is like when the sun breaks through a cloudy day.
Oh,
really nice.
I love that. Fantastic. I love like when you said like the sun breaking through the clouds. Like that's like when you were playing, I was like, yeah, I can absolutely see that. Like it just sounds like a fog, like that foggy kind of day, and then you hear this, and then all of a sudden the clouds.
It really like it's like descriptive, actually, which is shocking because when I hear something like that, I'm like, yeah, that's like a personal experience. Like I think that there's like it feels like a universal response to that too. Like, ooh, it's nice.
It's so good.
I'll take a nap in this sunbeam.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like just hearing that kind of in the distance, and that's a really cool visual. I can almost smell kind of the air. It's funny, you were talking earlier about how like with Ren fairs and stuff, it's like pirate themed and like sea shanty kind of stuff. But it's like this, like to me that's what this kind of sounds like. Like it's something that you would hear on a boat,
It definitely is like, I mean, it isn't unconnected to it.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure. And there's a lot of crossover. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially the same like little area of music. I always just like kind of my experience with Renfrew stuff is just that they're different people who do it, which I think is really interesting. And it's always really interesting to like, I know some people who like go across lines, but not a whole lot. And so it's very fun for me as someone who takes this very seriously, and then to like find the pirate themed like Ren Fair people, or to find people who do the Ren Fair circuit or whatever. And it's a totally different world. It's often very based off of like characters, like people like almost always like take on a certain sort of persona, even just like perform, which feels very foreign to me. This is like to me, this is very personally expressive music.
Right. This is you. It's not a character. I get that 100%.
Which is just different. It's there's no
there's no right or wrong.
Rent for people. Yeah. You gotta get paid, and sometimes sometimes you call yourself a name and put on clothes. I mean, I've done plays. That's the same. That's similar.
Yeah. Like you can love what you do in different ways. Everybody has a different way of expressing the love of the music, right?
I'm always excited when people are excited about this music, no matter what the context is.
Yeah. Oh, it's
like, maybe Celtic Woman is my like the place where I draw a line. Maybe
where do you draw the line?
Celtic Woman might be where I draw the line personally.
It's a group.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that group.
Oh, well, they had it. There's an SNL skit about them.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that. I'll have to check that out after.
It's
Sorry,
exactly
I didn't
what
do my
it sounds
research.
like.
No, you've already heard it. You've already heard about it. Like you've already heard them before.
Yeah.
I just haven't realized it. It's one of those.
Yeah. Is that the one with like all the like the major light show and like really hardcore violin?
And there's that. Well, they all wear like weird, like kind of dated dresses in a shocking way. I
think they're just trying to recreate Riverdance.
Yeah, it is. It's a post Riverdance thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Got it.
Good Chicago boy, Michael Flatley. Speaking.
Yeah, there you go. I remember going to I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade in not in Chicago, but in one of the southern burbs, which was I believe the second largest St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, interesting.
Second only to the one that was like in Chicago. And there were so many like floats that would go by, like these massive like beds behind these trucks that just had like dozens of curly haired little people doing their step
really
dancing.
Scary.
Children?
Yeah, little
children?
people. Little people is what I like to call them.
That's
I will let you in on a secret. All of that curly hair, those are all wigs.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have an issue where they they bounce too hard and the wigs tear out their scalp.
Ugh.
This is like a common thing.
And those wigs are heavy. I'm sure
They're
the
heavy.
guests aren't happy.
No.
That's one of the biggest things of like being a Disney princess. Like if you think about how much hair animated Disney princesses have, and then they try to recreate it in real life, like people who have played Megara from Hercules in the parks, all get neck problems.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, you would think that there's enough wig to like work in some kind of extra support, like a
yeah,
you know, like some kind of
smart.
Like that's
some sort of device. I mean,
or like a wheel or something.
It's 2021. Like they should be able to do all that virtually.
Yeah, we have 3D printing now. I don't like carbon nanotubes or something.
Yeah, they should be able to make this hair out of a super lightweight material.
Yeah,
like just a hollow wig. You know?
A hollow wig.
Like like aeronautic level wigs.
Yeah, get on that, scientists. All the scientists that are watching.
Disney, if we don't have the technology, Disney has the money to make the technology for sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're Imagineers. Imagine something.
Yes, come on. What are you doing? Drawing stuff?
Use your brain.
Oh man, we've turned into throwing shade at Disney, which is never good because they own everything.
Disney.
The most litigious company that's ever existed.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's at my door. I'll be right back.
Oh God. it's an Italian Swedish music.
Yeah. Well, Gus, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and thanks for sticking around and chatting with us. I love this. I love this.
A lot.
Yeah,
great. This has been wonderful.
We covered everything. There's going along the bottom of the screen. You can see Gus's Twitter and Instagram. Go follow. Where else can people see your music? Is there any place that I don't know about that they can see?
I have a Facebook page, which is Gus Voorhees Music. Make sure that you spell my last name correctly because there's 2 of every vowel, and it's where people get tripped up. Instagram is probably the best place to find out what I'm doing next. But it'll be on Twitter and Facebook as well. Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to your duo. I can't wait to hear more about that. And hopefully, once you're announced and you're ready, maybe you could bring your duo onto the show and give us a little bit more music because it'd be good. That. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Yeah. Have a great rest of your morning. Yeah. Take care. Fantastic. Such a talented artist. I saw there was I believe it's either on his Instagram or on his Twitter, but he's playing something and there's a guy dancing, doing this amazing just having a good time, throwing his hands up in the air, doing some kicks, and I was like, yeah, that's what you want to do when you hear that music and you're out and about. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah. So we're coming towards the end of the show. Chloe, what you reading anything this week? You watching anything this week that is? Oh boy. Oh boy. I have. Okay. Big update. I got my library card. You got oh shit. Listen, I've lived in this neighborhood for like 5 years, and I just went to the library. Mm-hmm. How is it? It's great. Yeah. Is it a nice library? Yeah. And there's no human I love more than like a librarian who's excited about their job. A helpful librarian. Like I went and got my library card, and she was so nice, and she was like, "Oh, you've got a great birthday, and here's your card. You get access to all this stuff, and this is where. Let me just show you real quick. It's like, okay, this library is like, it's a branch, right? It's a very small library. Mm-hmm. You can see from one end to the other." And she's like, "Let me just show you real quick. This is where we keep all the new books. If you could just come around here.
most of them are gone now. They've been checked out. But when the new books come in, this is where they go. The popular hot books are going to be on this shelf.
So you know where to look.
And I know where to look. And it was just like the nicest, like so nice.
I love libraries.
Experience.
I think libraries are can be the coolest.
Yeah.
Like I remember growing up as a kid. Like I grew up in this little town, Newton, Illinois, 3,200 people, maybe 3,100 people at this point. I don't know. It's somewhere in
3
that.
times as big as my town.
Right. Oh wow. But we had the library was attached to. There was a little Jasper County Museum attached to the back of the library, and it was very cool to like go in there and like just look around and see all the like the really old stuff. But yeah, I spent a lot of time in that library as a kid. It was like right on the square.
Internet. They have tables.
Well, this was
chairs.
before. This was actually in the early mid 80s. So there was no internet, no computer, but they had several microfiche machines, so you could go and do you know microfiche?
To look at microfilm?
Yeah, they had. It was like the thing where you could like scroll through and see all. You know, you do this and you film that. No, actually, it was more like this. Like it would go one way or the other. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I checked out my first Stephen King book there when I was in like 8th grade. I think I checked out a graphic novel called Cycle of the Werewolf, which is they made that into the movie Silver Bullet. With let's see, I think there was a Corey in that. One of the Coreys was in that, and Gary Busey, I believe, was in that. Good old Gary Busey.
What is he?
He is insane.
Something else. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't been to a library in a while, Matt,
go to a library.
Go to a library. They got internet. They got tables and chairs. They got computers. They can print stuff for you.
Mm-hmm. I go to the Arlington Library all the time to print stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a printer.
It's great. And I think they do up to 10 pages per day for free.
Oh, how about that?
And they've done away with overdue fees, at least at the Somerville at this point.
Oh, really?
Which I think is the right move, you know? You don't want to shame people because then they won't come back.
It's true. I mean, it happens.
But here's the big thing for me. So part of the reason that I went to get this library card, so because of my concussion, I've been trying to do more non-screen based activity because I tend to like time around and get more eye strain now a little bit quicker. So I started doing the cross stitching and I started listening to audiobooks. So I listen to audiobooks while I'm cross stitching. It's very pleasant. But you can check out audiobooks from the library.
Really?
Yeah. And usually, so sometimes there's, it depends, and it depends on what your library has to offer. But like there's an app called Libby and you just download the app and then you can check out they'll have a certain number of copies of the digital copy of the audiobook. And then when it becomes available, you can get it and just listen to it for free.
For free?
For free.
Do you even need to go into the library? Can you?
So you can get a temporary membership that lasts 6 months, but you have to go get an actual library card.
But once you have that for the app,
that you don't have to go in.
You can just check out books like audiobooks over the app, which makes it even better.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. So I think if you take anything away from the show today, one, listen to awesome folk music.
Yeah.
And two, go to a library.
Give them their alcohol when they perform.
Give them their alcohol. If they show up at your door, give them your alcohol.
2, go to the library.
And 2, go to the library.
Yeah.
I've just been. I'm trucking through Downton Downton Abbey. I'm on the 5th season right now. It's so good. The only problem with watching Downton Abbey on the train on my morning commute is when I start crying on the train.
I was gonna say, does it get emotional?
I get super emotional
on
the train. So that's really the only issue that I've had so far. But they've got a second movie coming out, so I'm
a second movie.
A second Downton movie is coming out. Are they going to throw
an even bigger dinner party?
I guess it's going to happen. They got the cast back. So I'm excited to finish the series. I'm excited. I haven't finished the series. I'm on, like I said, I'm on season 5. This is as far as I've ever gotten on there. So I'm excited to continue watching it. The 3rd season of The Circle is out, which I need to watch. I'm waiting to kind of watch that with our
Circle friends.
Our Circle friends, Smars and Sarah Burns.
We gotta have Smars back on for the reality TV.
We need to have our reality TV redo or redux because we also need to watch F-Boy Island. I haven't seen any of F-Boy Island yet.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Does it?
And I don't watch a lot of reality TV shows.
Right.
I'm more of like a Great British Bake Off.
The nice vibe. Ones. The ones where they're super nice. And luckily they've taken that kind of metric and made a whole bunch of other shows that are very Great British Bake Off. Like, they've got the pottery throwdown and the I think there's a flour making it. Yeah.
I think I did see there is one that looks like an American version of Great British Bake Off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it's called.
It's called the American Bake Off.
Is it?
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so. No, it was like the name was different enough that I was like, is it like it or not?
Yeah.
But it is.
There's a new show on FX on Hulu that is called Why Last Man on Earth, based on the graphic novel of the same name. I've seen the first couple episodes of that. It's not bad. It's bleak.
Yeah. So the concept
and post-apocalyptic.
The concept is if all the men in the world disappeared, except for this one guy.
Oh, they don't disappear. They straight up die. They just.
Oh right.
It's
literally. Like a virus.
Yeah, it's like they die horribly in front of you, and then there are all these dead bodies everywhere.
Ooh,
and they don't have the like. That's one of the like most awful things about it is because like there are parts, there are areas where there are just like dead bodies because there's not enough people to like get rid of them.
I'm glad you gave me that warning because there are 2 shows that I started watching that were much more graphic than I expected. One of them was The Boys, which I guess
The Boys is
it's
good, but
graphic.
It's awful.
It's immediate. Like I didn't expect it to happen so soon.
Yeah, Abby tried watching that with me, and the minute the woman explodes, she was like, "No, I'm good."
I'm good.
And it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, Invincible. You get all the way through the first episode, I think, and then at the end of the first episode, it's very upsetting. And I was like, "Well, I don't want to watch this anymore because I'm sad now."
Invincible is so good, but it is rough.
Yeah, watch out.
Yeah. Is there a second season of that? Has the second season started on that?
I don't know.
I don't think it's come out yet, but the first season's out on Amazon, and
I'm also very excited for the Wheel of Time series.
I never really read any of those books, but it looks dope. It looks really
cool. I have the first audio book on hold.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a month-long wait. At the moment,
because everybody's
people are getting ready. They're getting hyped, right? It's 30 hours, and the books don't get shorter, and there are like 14 of them. So it's going to be a trek.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. Yeah, and we'll be back next Friday with more just convo and hanging out. And
shenanigans.
Who knows what'll go down.
Who knows?
Chloe, do you have any final little words of wisdom or Chloe knowledge nuggets?
Yeah. Find some more non-screen based activities. It's actually very pleasant.
It is.
Also, I'm going to reinforce, go to the library.
Go to the library. That's it for our show tonight. Stick around, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll have more programming later tonight. Not sure exactly what's going on 2MB this evening, but there's probably something going on.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.